So what I'd like to do next is introduce Renee Bashel and from the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources. And what I really want to do in terms of introducing Renee is just, you know, she's going to be emceeing the awards program, but the thing that I want to do is just to acknowledge the hard work that Renee has put into chairing the awards committee. You know, she's been doing it for the last few years. And if you've been on the National Steering Committee, or you've been on one of the conference planning committees, or chairing one of the different subcommittees that we have, there's a lot of work that goes into it. And, you know, sometimes it feels like a thankless job. And so I just want to thank Renee for all the hard work that she's put into managing the awards program. And I'm really looking forward to hearing about our winners this year for the 2022 awards. So Renee, I'll turn it over to you.
All right, thanks, Chris. Can everyone hear me all right? All right.
Yes.
Great. Great, so I'm gonna walk through, as Chris said, we've got some great award winners to talk about for all their activities over the past year or more, as we look at some of our long-term members that have been selected for our Lifetime Achievement Awards, if you will. But since today's theme is reflections, I wanted to take a look back at some of the awards that have been given over the years, and talk a little bit about what seems to be some common themes between those award winners. And then I'll just do that pretty quick. I got a few slides to summarize all those past awards and winners, and then we'll go through our current winners. And let's see. So we've been presenting these awards for a while, and they really were created to be our opportunity to highlight both our programs, individuals within the programs as a whole, the businesses that we work with, trade associations or other business assistance providers that we partner with, all, you know, towards our goal of protecting the environment and helping the businesses do what they need to do to keep their business going and protect the environment at the same time. And we've heard a lot of great stories about how programs have been doing that all day. And that's really why we created these awards, is to celebrate all those activities. And I think you'll see a lot of common names on the screen as well as I go through these. So we first started presenting these awards back in 2008. And since then, we haven't always had nominees for every category, but we've always had the opportunity to present those categories. The program specific excellence award, the business assistance provider award, which originally was strictly a trade association focused award, but as we branch out in our partnerships, we've renamed that award in the last couple of years. We had our Small Business Stewardship Award, and then the Karen V. Brown Leadership Award. And for some of the newer folks, you may not know who Karen Brown was, but we'll talk about what she meant to the programs as they got started in the early years in a little bit. But you can see we've had a lot of great opportunities to work with a range of associations over the years. Concrete Association, different automotive associations, businesses from a full range of options that might be out there to even think of creating a small business to provide services. Looking again, you can see some repeats for different programs over the years, but the businesses themselves, you see such a wide range. It's great to see all those different folks doing great things out there. But as I looked through all of those different awards, I tried to dig back to old presentations and old nomination forms where we still, some of us who hoard all that old information, had those records on file. And I wanted to summarize what some of these award winners over the years have shared at least to some extent, in their activities and how they've worked to improve the environment and keep their operations working together. So the programs, you see a lot of commonality in that they participate on a regular basis. They're always active with the National Steering Committee in some form, or they're on one or more subcommittees, or they take on a chair, co-chair role. That seems to be a regular theme for all of the programs that have been selected in the past. A number of them have also worked hard to be our connection, whether it's with US EPA headquarters or different programs within EPA or other agencies that we might interact with. Key business associations, some folks are our go-to people for working with the dry cleaners associations or automobile associations and so on. And a few have even provided examples for how to connect with their congressional representatives or other promotional activities that have taken place. We all know who our few technical experts are on certain topics. And so some of those folks are their key role in contributing to our steering committee and the subcommittees are being that topic expert. And each one of them, you'll find that they are more than willing to share their information that they're gathering as they are that topic expert, or as they're part of a subcommittee, they'll just share whatever they're learning about that particular topic with everybody on the subcommittee or out to the full audience. Having that SBEAP main listserv has been a great resource for a lot of folks who want to share that information with other programs. Among the businesses that we've selected for awards, they are all starting their search by working with us because they want to do the right thing. They do want to comply. They just don't understand. We've kind of hit that point with a number of the examples from the programs today and how they've created some of the resources. But really, that's just the starting point for these businesses that we've selected. They all are following through on the recommendations from the SBEAPs that are helping them out, and then looking for more. How do they find better materials to use? How do they find other efficiencies that'll not only improve the environment, but save them money? And that's a good goal to have to keep their business moving forward. And then as they make those changes, they're looking for ways to gain certifications, to gain recognition for that activity. And then that helps them share the message of how, we're a really small business and we can do this, so you can do this too. So sharing that with their other businesses, even competitors, they're always willing to share that information. And so we want to recognize that willingness to share what they've learned. And then with the partners that we've worked with on our activities, while they've got their focus for their clients, for their organization, they also want to work with us because that helps their clients. And so it's always a great partnership. And a lot of them they're going above and beyond what you might think of as an association representative by getting into the weeds with us in our specific state rules, but just making sure that the information is available to the businesses in our specific states. And then they're always willing to advance us as the topic experts for their clients. And then for the last award, the Karen V. Brown Award really is that Lifetime Achievement Award that I mentioned, and where we want to recognize folks who have been active as a program and have all those characteristics of the program award winners, but have carried that through over the whole extent of their career with the small business programs. And so as I've been working on these awards and looking for information to share about Karen, one of the quotes that we had from an article that was written about her back in the early days, she had a great quote that I think reflects on all of our award winners, is that You see, everything big starts out small. I believe that helping small businesses at the time meant preventing big problems later. And that always remember that if we cannot do great big things, we can still do small things in a great way. And I just love those quotes, and it reflects what we've all seen in the programs that have talked today and in our award winners coming up here. So with that, I want to start the presentations of our 2022 awards. I also wanted to highlight, as I do that, I've got a little close-up of part of one of the awards. So I've been awarding these, getting these awards the last couple of years from Eco Promotions which is located in Illinois. These awards are made of recycled glass, and they have a bamboo base, which is a more sustainable wood product. And for each order, Eco Promotions plants a tree through Trees for the Future. So now that we've done this for a few years, we have 3 or 4 trees. I can't remember now how long I've used these guys, but 3 or 4 trees that have been planted in on behalf of our programs. And I also wanted to highlight the folks who are on our awards subcommittee, which are generally participants in the promotional subcommittee as well. There's not really a division between the two, because this is a key promotional effort for our programs. But because we don't have all regions represented in that subcommittee, I also want to thank any of the National Steering Committee representatives who have voted on the awards as well, to have all of them covered. All right, so with our first award, with the Program Excellence Award, we are showcasing an exemplary performance of either one state program or an individual in the areas of compliance assistance, sustainability, advocacy, and collaboration at the national level. We emphasize the state program leadership, where they've created resources and work products, promoted policy advancements, and developed program innovations, as well as establishing new partnerships to build a strong network for the SBEAPs. For any of the Pennsylvania folks, if Nancy asks you to unmute, if you want to come off mute, be sure and click that, and you can talk. But our 2022 SBEAP Excellence Award is presented to the Pennsylvania EMAP program. Some of the highlights from their nomination was that they've been regularly representing Region 3 on the National Steering Committee. They've got multiple members on the technical subcommittee, and Jeremy's even a past co-chair. They've got membership on the environmental justice subcommittee, and numerous folks from the group are on the annual training planning subcommittee. And they're also a great connection for us with the small business development centers, and also one of our site visit programs. And so they've nominated many businesses for the business award. Anyone from your group available to speak here? I've lost my participant list.
Yeah, Renee, I'm here. This is Jeremy. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll try to wrap this up, make it quick in 3 minutes. I didn't realize I was going to be first, but that's probably good because I think my AirPods are going to die. But yeah, thanks for putting everything together, Renee, and the award subcommittee. We'd like to thank the National Steering Committee and everybody that put all the time and effort into this. I can just tell by your slides how much hard work you've done, and to order the awards to make it possible. Thanks to all the other nominees and those who put together a nomination. I'd like to personally thank the EMAP team members, specifically Leanne Briggs, Charles Haney, Chuck, and Carrie Winterstein. They're the boots on the ground, and they do all the day-to-day assisting of the small businesses, because they are the persistent assisters in our state. So one kind of cool thing we decided to put out a client survey for all the small businesses that we work with in calendar year 2021. And the results were truly remarkable. It really struck me at, how much hard work and dedication that the EMAP team members put in there. But I really do want to thank the Pennsylvania DEP Bureau of Air Quality, because it's their confidence, support, never-ending commitment to really make the small business program in Pennsylvania, possible and successful. So I know they're on here, but specifically Susan Foster, Nancy Herb, and Lucas Hershey, they're the heartbeat of what keeps really the whole small business programs going. Our program, it's great to get the award. We've taken our fair share of bumps in the road. You've heard Dale speak a little earlier about the lengthy history in Pennsylvania. I guess on that note, I wanted to give a shout out to both Chris Lynch and Nancy Crickman, who successfully led the EMAC program for a number of years. I've been just lucky enough to kind of take the baton that they've kind of passed along and kind of keep things moving forward. But as Dale mentioned, having all three parts of the 507 program, it really makes EMAP's job a whole lot easier. Working with the Small Business Ombudsman, Samantha Harmon, and then really just meeting quarterly at our CAP, or our Small Business Compliance Advisory Committee. That's where the magic happens. That's where we're able to share what's going on with the small businesses, what kind of issues are popping up, how can we kind of work through those issues. So it's really having all the three parts that again makes it all very, very successful. And I'll just kind of close on one thing, because again, the topic of today's session is reflection. And I know many years ago, I think Renee mentioned it, when I co-chaired a technical subcommittee with Rick Karleski from the Ohio EPA, Rick and I were having a kind of a pre-planning call as to what we were going to talk about, because all the NESHAP rules were written and finalized. But I remember, and Rick said something to me, it stuck out. That was my reflection. And Jennifer Dixon, she mentioned it as well. It's like the biggest benefit of participating in the national network is learning to hear all from you, your expertise, your excellent things that are going on, all the great programs you've developed. Because again, what you bring to the table is, we're able to bring back to Pennsylvania and able to implement those or share those with the Small Business Committee. So yeah, we greatly appreciate it, and thank you again.
All right, congratulations, Pennsylvania. Next, I'm going to go through our Small Business Environmental Stewardship Awards. We had a number of nominations, and we have 3 award winners selected this time around. And this, I think I've mentioned it already, we're acknowledging the accomplishments of small businesses that have worked with their local, state, territory, or national small business assistance program and worked on improving environmental performance, pollution prevention, sustainability, and mentoring. And our first award, I kind of did things in alphabetical order here, is Abilene Boot Company, one of the Pennsylvania companies that they've worked with for a number of years. And this company has a long history in the state. They've got 35 employees, and it's a former employee that turned owner in 2002. So that's a great way to carry on the business. And they first really just wanted to confirm their compliance, but they've got a strong goal for protecting both their workers and the environment. And they've made voluntary changes to low VOC and HAP coatings and adhesives. And now they've really reduced their total emissions, and they're continuing to look for better materials. And I think we've got, I'm sorry, Carrie Winterstein from Pennsylvania was gonna share a message from them.
Thanks, Renee.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, thanks, Renee. So Abilene Boot is unable to make it today. So on behalf of Ross Ullman, Amy Pluta, and Tracy White, I would like to thank you, Renee, the award committee, the steering committee, the annual training committee, and everyone else who's involved in making this award happen. When the call first went out for nominations for the Small Business Environmental Stewardship Award, I immediately thought of Abilene Boot, who is a small shoe manufacturer in central Pennsylvania that I'd worked with. They voluntarily committed to using low VOC coatings and adhesives in their products without any sort of regulatory driver. Over time, they've significantly reduced their overall VOC and HAP emissions. And at this point, with all the reductions that they've put in place, their emissions are low enough that they don't need a permit. I also think it's important to note that they're one of 2 remaining shoe manufacturers left in the state of Pennsylvania. And I was unable to determine how many shoe manufacturers Pennsylvania once had, but I'm pretty sure it was quite a few. So the fact that they have remained in business and haven't wavered on their commitment to using low VOC materials, even when it probably would have been cheaper for them or better for their business to not do so, I think says a lot about the type of business that they are. And like most small businesses these days, they're dealing with supply chain issues and vendors astronomically increasing prices, but they are still committed to not increasing their VOC emissions. So I'm really glad that there's a platform through the SBEAP Awards where a company like Abilene Butte can be recognized for the work that they have done and the commitment that they have to the environment and to the safety of their employees that might otherwise go unnoticed. So thank you again for everyone who's been involved with this award.
Yeah, thanks, Carrie. All right, and our next award winner then is Best Body Shop, a small 4-person shop in Kansas that requested help to make sure they were meeting the air and waste requirements. And as a result, improved their waste training program. And we're taking a closer look at all of their coatings and VOCs and HAPs. And then after they moved location and requested more permit help, they actually looked into switching to a water hybrid paint system. And we're finding a lot of benefits to actually making that move along with reducing the emissions. So do we have Barbara or Clay available, or Nancy, were you gonna speak for them?
Yeah, let me, and here we go. Barb's here.
Great.
So, yeah. Well, I just wanted to thank, you, Renee. This is my first time meeting you via Zoom, but I want to thank Nancy as well. She's been a huge proponent of helping us as a small business. In the body shop world, there's so many different chemicals and hazards and whatnot that go into the job that we do on a daily basis. So she has been a wealth of information. She has always been incredibly kind and answers any questions and fully available for us. So when we started out, we had a small 2,000 square foot building that we had a small paint booth, and the Kansas Department of Health had referred us over to SBEAP as far as looking into our air emissions. And at first it's just very overwhelming, as a small business in the middle of Kansas. But she was able to answer a lot of questions, and I learned so much information during that time. So including learning about our hazardous waste streams and so on and so forth. So we're incredibly thankful to have been awarded this. And yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And congratulations again.
Thank you.
And then our next small business stewardship award goes to the Cincinnati Recycling and Reuse Hub. And this was a business idea where they wanted to start up and manage items that were not being recycled in the community collection bins. They did need a compliance assistance review to receive a recycling grant. But in the process, they've created education programs to improve recycling rates in their area, teach people about the life cycle thinking of the products that they buy, and then reuse of materials. And they have a broad spectrum look at sustainable business operations throughout the whole business. And then some of the other items that they've worked on collecting have been electronics recycling events, TerraCycle for packaging, textiles, and other samples from architectural construction firms. Those are just a few things I pulled from the nomination papers, but I'm sure there's plenty of other things that have been going on there. And I think we've got Colleen from Cincinnati Recycling on.
Yep. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
So I just wanted to say thank you for the award. We didn't even know it was a thing until we got the email from Renee. So we were very happy to be just recognized for our work, because we have worked incredibly hard this last, actually 2 years kind of in, we officially formed February 2020, and then we all kind of know what happened in March. So we opened our doors just last April 21st or April of 2021. And in our first year, we were happy to say that we were able to divert 100 tons of materials from the landfill, including styrofoam, electronics, the TerraCycle that you mentioned, and just a whole host of other things. And we just can't thank the Ohio EPA enough to sort of say, yeah, what we think we were going to do was correct as far as the regulations we needed for the light bulbs and the batteries and all of that kind of stuff. So we just wanted to say thank you for the award. And then I wanted to say thank you specifically to our board members. We have 18 board members who are all volunteers, who work tirelessly to make this happen. And then just our regular volunteers. I'm actually at our collection right now, so we've got people coming in the door. But we're just very thankful that we had this much success, and we're very happy that we had the help to sort of be set up correctly to start. So thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, and congratulations again. All right, and so then our last award category was the Karen V. Brown Award. And for those of us who were still around, or were around when Karen was still with the program, we really know that she was essential to the initial implementation and growth of the programs during her years as the director. Just a little history about Karen. Even before the Small Business Ombudsman was her role, she was in EPA as early as 1981, where she held a number of management roles. But it was 1985 when she was first appointed as the Small Business Ombudsman. And then later they tacked on the Asbestos Ombudsman role. So that is why Paula is now our Asbestos and Small Business Ombudsman. But during the 1990s, when we were all of our programs were really forming and growing, Karen was gaining more recognition for getting EPA's program going and her efforts with the states. There's a couple different articles that highlighted her efforts. There was some congressional testimony even that highlighted it as one of the best outreach programs in federal government. I've got some links for those if you're curious and you want to check those out. They were still there a while ago when I last checked them, but the Wall Street Journal one is a firewall. But hey, if you've got a subscription, you can check that out too. But with that in mind, we created an award that really showcases the accomplishments of an individual who's promoting our efforts as small business programs throughout their lengthy career, honoring leadership, innovation, dedication to environmental protection, and efforts to build strong partnerships. We've got a couple of great pictures. Perfect timing to have Dale on our panel today. We've got a picture of Karen and Dale back in the day. I believe that was a Sacramento social time on a boat. But with that said, we've got a couple award winners this year. And so I wanted to give them each some time. And let's first talk to Sarah Johnson. She's the New Hampshire is the NH small business program, and she's been there since 2008, and it is a one-person shop. She has been NSC chair in the past. She's been the Region 1 representative for multiple years and has been on multiple subcommittees, and really has been, as part of the promotional subcommittee, really advocating for different marketing ideas and Twitter use, and really looking at innovations to get the word out about our programs. So Sarah, if you're on and you want to make a few comments.
Hi.
Hello.
Thank you, Renee, and thank you, the award committee, and for all your hard work. And now I understand when we had that award committee call, why we didn't discuss any Karen Brown nominations. It was not discussed at all. And now I figured out why. So that was pretty sneaky of you all. And I appreciated that, because when I did get the email from Renee, I was speechless, and being speechless is really not something I do very often. So I appreciated that. My heart was pounding. I immediately sent emails to our commissioner, assistant commissioner, my boss. It was just really, and it was really thoughtful. And I think the reason it was so nice to get is because this is a peer-based nomination. So somebody nominated me, and I don't know who, if it was whoever it was or the group, but I thank you for that, because having that acknowledgement of all those years and continuing hopefully to do this job and to market what we do and promote what we do. And it's just fun to do. You know, I went to a site visit the other day and they specialize in race cars and Porsches and BMWs. And that was pretty fun, I have to say, going to a shop like that. Don't go to those very often. And it was just really nice to be recognized. In addition, I think I want to point out that one of the reasons why I can do my job is because of this network, the technical support, the peer support, the reviewing of documents, the sending out an email saying, hey, I need help on this. What do you got for me? That is what made my job, especially as a one-person shop, get through day-to-day stuff and not understanding and helping each other. That's really this network. That's what makes us strong, is our group. And I want to reiterate that knowledge, that expertise is there. You just have to ask for it. And I really appreciate it. And thank you to all. Thank you to everyone on this call too. I'm really thrilled that everybody stayed on. So thank you so much.
Yep, and definitely well-deserved, as many of the comments have said in the chat, Sarah. And our next award winner is Nancy Larson. As many have heard her voice today, keeping us organized. But Nancy's been with the small business program since 2000, and she leads a team of 7, and she's in Region 7. How does that work? But she's been the regional rep or alternate for multiple years and is chair or a participant on many of the subcommittees. And another highlight that was in the nomination was that Nancy's really a key support person for states that aren't as active in the network. And she's really encouraging to try and get people to join this network, to learn how sharing information can help you keep your smaller program active. And they definitely have a lot of great resources in Kansas that are available for people to share. We've borrowed a lot of their stuff, and they definitely have some good data collection examples as well for client visits and such. So just a few things to mention from the nomination form. Nancy, go ahead if you want to say anything.
All right. Well, good afternoon. Thank you, Renee. And I'm honored by this nomination and to be nominated alongside with Sarah, who is a great advocate and just does such a good job going beyond, above and beyond. So thanks to the NSC Award Committee and to Tony Pendola for this nomination. And I wouldn't be here today, like Sarah said, without being surrounded by a community of great leaders like the National SBEAP and the people I get to work with every single day, my PPI colleagues. They're a wonderful team of experts in their own field. We have 7 people, and so we're allowed to specialize and have expertise. And I really appreciate being able to call on them and be able to have a multimedia program. So specifically, I recognize my boss, Bruce Sneed, and our PPI team members. You all know them, or most of them, Linnell, Allison, Arthur, Lena, Jacob, and Abby keeps us looking good, right? She's our graphic artist person. But I really appreciate their hard work and their support. And as I reflect with this theme on this award and leadership recognition specifically, it reminds me, like I said before, that I'm surrounded by an SBEAP community of leaders. You're passionate leaders. You don't just check the box. You're leaders who care about this important work that you do to help others, build relationships, and protect the environment, right? So I think we're in a really important moment of time, you guys. I think we face serious climate and health equity challenges, but you all can be change makers, and you are. You've seen many change makers today. Not everyone has a career that lets them help small businesses, right? We get to build those relationships and help people reduce emissions, capture their good stories, and share them here. You all are the good guys. We don't have to wear the regulator hat, and that's a real benefit. When working in this career, I love being a good guy. I've been a regulator before. So recognize and take advantage of the fact that we're surrounded by expert colleagues. And I want to encourage you to plug into this network of power of our national SBEAP. Your work, your relationships, both personal and professional, help make a difference. Your work makes a difference. So be motivated, encouraged, and be a change maker. Thanks for this award.
Yeah, congratulations, Nancy. Well deserved, and great comments too. As someone else who started with the programs in 2000, I have to say this network of great people is what brought me back from trying consulting for a few years in the middle. So it's you can't beat this network of great people to keep you interested in this job. And while that's all I have, we have one more award that we want to present, and just going to give Paula the opportunity to talk about the EPA Administrators Award.
Okay, thanks, Renee. I think I'm up and running here. All right, yes, thank you so much. And I just want to say first, congrats to everybody that's won an award today. I mean, I echo, Renee, what you've just said, that this is a really tight-knit group. I've worked with you all on here in the EPA federal office for a number of years, and I certainly can attest that you all do an amazing job, that you really have made an effort to stay together and to meet annually and have this training event as well as this important award ceremony to recognize your peers and all the great work that you do to support one another. So kudos to everyone that's won an award this year. Do you mind going on to the next slide? Maybe I can, there you go. Okay, so for everyone that hasn't yet already seen, we did want to recognize Tony Pendola for this year's EPA Administrator Small Business Award. This year, it's the 32nd Annual Small Business Award Ceremony. It did take place on May 5th of this year, which actually was the first. It was right during when we had our first day of our training for this. So many of us did miss the actual live event. I know that our plan is to put the recorded link into the chat so that everybody can go and watch that at your leisure. We also included it in the small business bulletin that we put out just recently this week. So please do take some time to go and watch that when you get a chance. But again, you know, we just want to congratulate Tony Pendola. He won the award for outstanding accomplishments by a small business trade association or state small business environmental assistance provider in providing technical environmental assistance to the small business community. That's quite a mouthful, but that is the entirety of the award title. And really, he was nominated for his outstanding leadership in outreach and advocacy for the work that he's done with the auto body industry and with the 6H navigation tool that really stood out. And many people, you know, wanted to make sure that we recognized his important efforts and work there. So congratulations to Tony. Tony, I don't know if you have any words to add to, you know, just in recognizing your award.
Well, I'm surprised by this, but I do thank you. And especially Paula, I know you're the one who puts this forward, and it's quite an honor. It really is. And, you know, it's a little extra special because my secretary is now the EPA administrator and his name's on it. So I think that's really cool. He's quite an inspiration. So I'm glad to have the latitude to do this kind of stuff, to have some time to think of, you know, what would help our small businesses, and then be able to put it forward. And in this, since you mentioned the 6H RegNav tool, I mean, I can't go into all the background between the history with working with OAQPS, especially Outreach and Information Division and the Community and Tribal Programs Group. But, you know, all this stuff started with a dry cleaners video, and then an auto body video, and then being on the collision repair campaign team and stuff. And then when I came up with this idea for the RegNav thing, I just called them because I thought it's just so much better EPA has so much gravitas, and people go there to look for the answers, and they're not going to come to North Carolina so much to find that, and ask if they would take it and have it, and they were happy to. And so it kind of shows a new level of partnership that we can have with EPA, I think. And, you know, I've talked to them about doing training programs and things like that, and they're really up for everything. So it's really great to be working so good with EPA. Thanks.
Great, thanks, Tony. And yeah, I just want to add too that you're no stranger to winning this award, because it was just a few years ago that we recognized you for a lot of the networking and, you know, just building those partnerships between the state and the federal level that you've done. So we definitely have. This is a second go around of recognizing the great work that you're doing and helping build those collaborative efforts that make the work that we do so important. So thank you so much.
You know, kind of funny thing was also the Region 4 gang, when we came up with the idea to do a DVD for auto body, we won 2 back then, and I wasn't able to go to pick it up. And then that last time that you were mentioning, I was in Illinois. It was the time when we were doing SBEAP training. And so I wasn't able to pick it up. And I was really hoping this time that there would be a time where I could get up, and then it was virtual. So that's okay.
Well, and speaking of, we are in the process of trying to get your best mailing address to mail you the hard, you know, actual award itself. So you'll be getting that soon.
Thanks.
Yeah. And before we close out, I just wanted to also say there was another award that there typically throughout the awards, there's the administrators awards, then there's the OSDBU directors awards, and then there's finally these things called the Crystal Duck Awards. And so that's usually selected by the OSDBU director, Denise Sermons. She's actually out of town this week. I know she would have loved to have mentioned that she did select Anna Woods from the Office of Air Quality Planning and Standards here at EPA and in headquarters, but in the RTP. And, you know, in the work that she's done to help support Rhonda and the small business liaison role, and really coming back to the table, helping us get the regional staff throughout the country to join back in with this group. So just, you know, a shout out to Anna Woods and the work that she's done. She did receive a Crystal Duck Award for her leadership and support of this program. Okay, and I think somebody did add the link to the recorded event, so you can look at that at your leisure. And that was it for me. Thank you so much.
All right. Well, that was great. Thank you very much, Paula and Renee. Congratulations to all the award winners. That's you know, what the theme that just comes through in all of that is just how we're such a great working community. Everybody really works together and helps each other out in this kind of small knit community. And so, you know, hopefully you learned some things today, that ideas from some of our panelists, ideas from some of our award winners that you might want to copy in your own state, or try to launch some initiatives of similar initiatives in your state. I think that, you know, everybody that I've always encountered in the programs has always been very helpful. You know, if you want to borrow an idea, share something, everybody just works together in a real collaborative nature. And that's really wonderful. And, you know, like I said, sometimes in order to go forward, you've got to take a second to stop and take a look back and see, you know, what you've done, and sort of take stock of your accomplishments. And so I think that was a good thing that we were able to do today. We were able to take a look back at the last 30 years, and hopefully as we reflect on that, it'll give us a good basis for next Thursday and our final installment in the Thursdays in May, Small Business Thursdays in May. And so the theme next week is going to be our aspirations. You know, what are our next 30 years going to be looking like? What do we want to accomplish? What do we want to work on?